What are G.I. Joe figure variants and why do they exist? Imagine opening a box of your favorite classic toys and discovering different versions of the same character. That's what G.I. Joe figure variants are all about. These are different editions of the same toy figure, but with small changes. Sometimes they have different paint jobs, accessories, or even slight sculpt differences. They might come in different packaging or have new articulation points. These variants are not random. They are part of how the toy line evolved over time. The G.I. Joe toy line started in the early 1960s but really took off in the early 1980s with the introduction of the smaller 3 3/4-inch figures. These figures had a lot of detail and came with a file card that told you about the character's background. As the line grew, so did the need to keep things fresh. That's where variants come in. For example, in 1982, the first versions of many figures had basic articulation and simple accessories. By 1983, Hasbro added swivel joints to the arms, making the figures more posable. Collectors often call the 1982 versions version 1 and the 1983 updates version 1.5. Variants also appeared through changes in accessories or costumes. Some figures came with different weapons, helmets, or gear depending on the year or special releases. For example, a figure might have a different helmet or a new weapon that wasn't available before. Sometimes, these changes were tied to specific vehicles or playsets, making each releases a little different. Packaging was also a factor. Minor changes in the card art or special mail order exclusives created collectible variants that fans loved to hunt down. Why do these variants exist? First, they help keep the toy line exciting for kids and collectors alike. By releasing new versions, Hasbro encouraged more sales and kept interest high. Second, as the G.I. Joe's storylines expanded through comics and cartoons, the figures were updated to match new looks or roles. Third, improvements like better articulation made the toys more fun to play with. And finally, variants created a sense of rarity. Limited editions or mail order exclusives became highly sought after, making collecting even more exciting. Back in the 1980s, these small differences made each figure special. They showed how the toy line was constantly changing and growing. For collectors today, finding these variants is like uncovering hidden pieces of history. Each one tells a story of how the G.I. Joe universe evolved and how Hasbro kept the line fresh and engaging for a new generation of fans.